And welcome back to the second part of the tutorial. Okay, let's work on this text box so that we can prevent the end user from entering ordinary characters such as this. Okay, so let's exit out, and I'm going to select all of this text box. Okay, now that all the text box are selected, let's go straight to the property there and select event, and we need key press right there. I'm just going to call that numbers underscore only. That's the name of the event. So click on that. There we go, and there we go. That's number underscore only, and we enter the following lines of codes. Okay, that's it. Very simple. That means no one will be able to enter characters apart from numbers. So let's try it out and see how it looks like. Okay, let's look for a keyboard. Right now let's try that again. Okay, have a keyboard, and if I try to enter a character in there, that's it, impossible. But I can enter numbers. Okay, let's try any other one out. You see that is the whole purpose of those simple line of code that you guys saw earlier. Okay, that's fine. So let's close this and exit out of here. That is working the way I want. Now the next thing I like to do is to put together some code so that we can reset all of these text box and the labels as well. So let's start by double clicking on the reset, and right above the reset itself, that's the reset button, I'm going to create a function there. It's going to be a private void function, and let's give it a name. I'm going to call it reset text box. Now let's say action less than control dot control collection. There we go, right there. And it's greater than, let's say, function equals none. There. Now function equals control equals to and greater than, and let's enter curly braces there for each control in controls this is what I want you to do. If, let's see this, each control in controls, yeah, that's correct. Let's say if control is a text box, then controlled, let's say control, let me copy that, control as a text box dot text equals, change that to 0, else let's say function within the control itself dot controls now that should be uppercase control there. Then we now need to close that and there we go. So let's enter semicolon there, and here wrong spelling here, just copy the right spelling, paste that in there, and here as well. Okay, so hopefully this should take care of the clear. So all I just need to do is I'm going to now copy this just to call the function name within my button here. Okay, so I'm going to paste that. Let me show you the button I'm talking about, this very one, and just paste it right there and enter that. So if I run it, let's see what's going to happen. Run this program now, and let's say, and let's see what's going to happen next. Alright, that's fine. Now the next thing is we ought to be able to clear these three buttons as well. So let's come in here, and I just need to say lbl dot text equals clear that, and repeat the same thing for, copy that, repeat the same thing for lbl tags clear. Now lbl, okay, that'll be lbl total, and clear that as well. So that should take care of all of the text box and the total. Now the other thing is, when I run the program, I want this text box, I want them disabled. So to be able to do that, I'm going to copy this, copy everything in here. So maybe I should just enter some braces there, or comment, I mean, let's enter comment here. Yeah, that's the very first one. So I'm going to enter in here clear text box. That's a clear text box. So let's copy this now. Right above it, I'm going to have another one. I'm going to call it disabled text box. Disable text box. So instead of we having text box here, so let's change this one to disable. Change the name to disable text box. So that's the name of that. I will change this, instead of dot text, that will become dot enable equals false, equals false. There. So I'm going to copy this now. Alright, then let's look for the form load. Don't click on form load. Inside form load, paste that in there. So when I run the program, all of the text box will become disabled. Look at that. So we cannot enter any value in here now. Okay, only when we click on this will the text box be enabled. So that means we need to write a couple of lines of codes. So the other thing is, supposing we have some content in there, so I would like it to just come in here and just say reset. Where is the function? There we go. That function, I would like it to reset it as well. Okay, the other function that I would like is, let me copy this. That will be for the checkbox. I'm just going to copy all of these, paste it right underneath here. It's the same function that I'm using, guys, so have a good look at it. Exactly the same function, but I'm just going to change this to text box, or checkbox. I mean checkbox checked. Right, that's the name of that very function. and in here let's change the control itself. Change the control to checkbox. I think it's, yeah, right. Change this control to checkbox as well. Right, then here I'm going to now change this to dot checked equals false, right there. So let's copy this. We need this function inside the reset button. We need it in here, and we're going to need the other one, the other function. Clear text box. Yeah, we have that. Disabled. This is disabled. Yeah, we need this function as well. Copy all of that and right in here, enter that function right in there. Yeah, those are the three functions that I've written for the program so far. 1, 2, and 3, and I've called the three functions inside reset button. And I'm also going to call this inside the form load right there. So when I run the program, this is what happens. Supposing all of those are checked and I click on reset, there we go, it actually reset it. Alright, we need to be able to enable this text box by clicking on any of those checkboxes. So let's see the name of this. The name of this should be txt Celerin. Copy that, double click on this, and right in there I'm going to use an if statement. If chk Celerin dot checked equals true. Let's close and open the bracket there. If equals true, okay, I think maybe double. Okay, if equals true, that means txt dot enable equals true, Then let's set the focus on it. Let's see, is this set focus or dot focus? Let's see, dot focus, right? Parentheses there. And we also need to clear. Let's clear it first before setting focus. txt dot text equals clear, right? Else, if it's else, all of these disable. Oh, clear, we need to clear it. Else, this is what's going to happen. This become false and this becomes 0. Alright, let's try out the very first one. Okay, everything is disabled. Click on this, that enables it. You see that? Then I can then enter my value in there. Click on that, I get the price. Reset. There we go. Repeat the same thing. See that, guys? So I need to repeat the same thing for the rest of the checkbox. So let's end that and just copy all of that and repeat it for the rest of the checkbox. Double click on this, come right in there, and that is supposed to be carrot. So change all of that to carrot. So I'm going to now speed that up. I believe you guys now get the whole idea. Okay, I'm going to speed it up for the rest 18 checkbox. Alright, I've finished with the coding of the checkbox. So let's see how it looks like now. Alright, if I click on any of those checkboxes, that's what happened. You see that, guys? However, we do have a problem. If I dare click on total, there will be an error because I have not entered any value in there. So that's the last bit we're going to take care of. So if we click on total and there's no value, that will become 0. You see that? That's an error. Okay, so let's close that and take care of that problem right here inside the total. So what we will do is, if let's have a look, if we have, or if any of the text box or all of the text box is empty, I want it to default back to 0. So let's do that. Okay, to do that, I'm going to double click on the total. So what I'll do in there, let me just enter a break. There's a break line there. So what I would do is I'm going to do it individually, and let's say if txt celerin dot text equals that, then we want as follows. We want this to default back to, want it to default back to 0. Right there, that's all there is to it. So for the other one, it's going to be exactly the same thing. I think the other one is carat. So right in here, paste that and change this to carat. txt carat. Try that again. xt carat. And we want this to default back to 0 as well. There. Okay, that's all there is to it. So I'm going to speed it up, but when I run the program, this is how it's going to look like. If I click on these two and just forget to enter value into them, and right here we have some coffee. All we need to do is when you click on that, you see it default back to 0. Okay, so what we do now is just speed it all up, and we can then call it the end of the tutorial. So let's do that now, guys. And that's it, guys, all taken care of. Just exactly the same lines of code. You may be able to find a shorter way for that, but that's how I'm going to do that. Let's run the whole program and we can then call it the end of the tutorial. So if supposing I didn't enter anything here, and I enter something here, then come here, enter some value. I'm right here as well. Let's say y. There's nothing in y. There's nothing here. We got something here. And so on, guys. So if I click on total, that's what we get. All of these are default back to 0. So guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you all enjoyed. So please do subscribe and thumb up. You all have a nice day now. Thanks for watching.